Guys, what up? We are back with the Day 4 NHL 2020 playoffs recap. Night 4 is done, and the preview to Day 5 will begin at the end of the video, so let's get into it. So 6 games on board today, all were qualifier games, no round robin games. So we start off with the New York Islanders beating the Florida Panthers by a score of 4-2 as they lead the series 2-0. Jordan Eberle putting up 2 points for the Isles and Hoffman putting up 2 points for the Panthers. And really, as you guys have seen my prediction, if not, go check it out. The Panthers either going to show up and dominate or show up and just not perform to their standards, kind of like how they did in the regular season, and that's what's happening, which makes me think that the Islanders will sweep them. And the Panthers were up, the Islanders just fought back and ended up winning the game. Then we move on to the Nashville Predators beating the Arizona Coyotes by the same score of 4-2, with Ryan Johansson putting up 2 points for the Preds, Clayton Keller putting up 1 point for the Coyotes, and now this series is tied. And really, the way Game 1 was going, I just had a feeling. I said, all right, you know what, the series is going to be close games, but I believe that Arizona will take the dub in every single game and end up sweeping Nashville. I thought that's how the series would go, just really close games after Game 1. But turns out Nashville bounces back, and now this series could really go either way. I have no idea. An okay game. I believe, I guess if you're a Nashville or the Arizona fan, probably a lot more entertaining. But yeah, pretty okay game. And now let's move on to the next game. So the third game today was the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, and a 3-0 win for the Maple Leafs, a huge win, tying the series up at 1 with Austin Matthews putting up 2 points, and this was huge. Korpisalo was saving the Blue Jackets more than Price was yesterday. I believe at one point the shots were like 28-8 in the second period for the Leafs, so they definitely deserved the win. But man, oh man, if y'all seen John Tortorella's post-game press conference, all he had to say was the Leafs suck, or not the Leafs suck. The Leafs are better, we sucked. Something along those lines. So that's really how the game was, man. If you're a Columbus Blue Jackets fan, y'all just gotta admit, you sucked this game, especially the first and the second. And then obviously we get to the Jake Muzzin injury, a horrific accident. It was a really awkward fall where his neck kind of like jolted back, and he's taken to hospital, which means he's out of the bubble. So we have no idea what's going to happen with that. And, I don't want to act like a douche here, but, we have to think about how this also affects the Toronto Maple Leafs as a team, and he was the best defender there. Some say top 2, some say top 1. So we'll see how Columbus reacts, we'll see how the Leafs react, but a good series incoming as it's 1-1. Fourth game of the day, we got the Calgary Flames winning big over the Winnipeg Jets to take a 2-1 series lead as they win 6-2, with Sean Monahan putting up a big 3 points and Nikolai Ehlers for the Jets putting up 1 point. And man, if I was a Jets fan, I would really be pissed off. Shout out to my man Jesse Pollock, however you say your last name. He is probably fuming right now. For all of you who watch Bar Down, y'all know what I mean. But yeah, man, like so many injuries. Matthew Perreault, I believe, went down this game, and it's just not looking good for them. Connor Hellebuyck vows that he's going to be the best. It's going to be so tough for Calgary to score. They're going to have to scratch and claw to score a goal, which, yeah, I like the confidence, but I just don't see Winnipeg winning this series. Maybe they win Game 4, but I just see Calgary winning. They're beating up the Jets, physically, so a good game here, but I don't know what Winnipeg's going to do down the road. The first elimination day of the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs, not elimination day, elimination game, between the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Rangers, and the Hurricanes end up winning 4-1 as they sweep the New York Rangers. And this was a pretty funny, scenario, as this was a series where a lot of people were torn, as this was one of the closest series to predict. I predicted the Hurricanes in 5, and they end up winning in 3. A lot of people said the Rangers. Some people even said the Rangers in 3. But yeah, a great game to watch. James Reimer, questionable, but he started. Not because of Mrazek doing bad, just because it was back-to-back, which makes you think, well, all the other teams start their goalies and start the backup goalies in back-to-back games. But also at the end of the day, it's the playoffs. So we don't know. But anyway, I guess it was a good choice because he made some great saves. He robbed, I don't know who it was. I don't think it was Chris Kreider. I'm not sure, as Kreider did get 1 point. But if you guys watch the game or watch the highlights, I'm sure that robbery of James Reimer will be there. And yeah, that eventually led to the Hurricanes winning. So they sweep the Rangers in 3 and they will move on to the Stanley Cup playoffs, which also mean the Rangers are the first team in contention to be in that pool to get Alexis Lafreniere. And to end it off today, we got the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Minnesota Wild, with the Canucks getting a big win 4-3, tying the series up at 1 games apiece. And a perfect start for the Canucks as Tanner Pearson scores right away, I think 24 seconds into the game. An absolute crazy wrister, beat Stalock up high, and then it kind of went downhill. Not because of Minnesota, Minnesota didn't score luckily, but just penalty trouble. And at one point, like halfway through the period, Canucks only had 1 shot. Luckily, they scored on that shot. And then Canucks on the power play. Their power play in the first half of the game looked horrible. Power play in the second half of the game looked a lot better, where they eventually ended up scoring. But yeah, Minnesota scores shorthanded. And yeah, then Canucks get a couple good goals by Besser and Miller to make it 3-1. Hughes 4-1, and then Minnesota almost comes back. They make it interesting. Kevin Fiala, and believe it or not, I was actually considering putting him as MVP of the day today. Obviously, I did not, as you guys can tell, but just the fact that he did good last game, he got 2 big goals here, and it showed that they were giving Fiala the treatment that Minnesota gave Pettersson the treatment in Game 1. And look at the difference. Yes, Pettersson played good Game 1, but Fiala played a lot better this game. So I was thinking maybe it's just more of a statement, but I decided, you know what, his team lost, so he can't be the most valuable player. But yeah, Wild almost pull off an insane comeback, just too little too late, where the Canucks eventually hold on. As a Canucks fan, I wish the score would have stayed 4-1, not 4-3, where they almost gave up that lead, or at least had a bad ending. But yeah, obviously, as you guys can tell, I'm a little bit more in depth in this game as I watched the full-on game, whereas, the Canadian team games, I watch 90% of it, whereas games where like the Islanders and the Panthers, I might not watch as much, because also you guys gotta know, I'm in school right now, so I do online school in the morning, so I try to watch what I can. But yeah, guys, then we move on to the MVP of the day. As y'all can see, I got Sebastian Aho, and he puts up a big 3 points, tied for the most points today. And how could he not be MVP of the day, as his team advances, and he put a big 3 points to make that happen. And he looked great today against a really good Rangers team. Now we move on to the headline section. So I always like to put 3 headlines, and the first one is first elimination, which is pretty obvious. The Rangers being the first elimination of the whole tournament, and as y'all could see by the handshake line, there was no handshakes, just fist pumps. But whatever, not a big deal. Just decided to put that as a headline because obviously that was the biggest news of the day. Debatable though, with my second headline, which is injuries, in specific the Muzzin injury, where he's taken to hospital, but also just a lot of blood today with a lot of blocked shots. Roussel was there. I think Perreault, I think he got injured from that. Another Jets player, I'm not sure who exactly, but yeah, another Jets player I know blocked a shot. And yeah, just a lot of hurt players today, but hey, that's the playoffs. But you know what, I decided to make it a headline. And then finally, the momentum shifters. The Canucks one, if they maybe won 5-1, that's a momentum shifter. But now Minnesota said, you know what, we almost came back. But all the other games were big momentum shifters. Islanders lead 2-0. The Calgary Flames winning big to go to up 2-1. And the Leafs and the Predators all tying the series in convincing fashion, which is a big momentum shifter. And then obviously the Hurricanes with the biggest momentum on their side as they sweep the Rangers. So now, as y'all can see, I got my games tomorrow section. We got the Islanders versus the Panthers. Game 3, 9 a.m. Nashville Coyotes, Game 3, 11:30 a.m. my time, which is Pacific time. Then we got the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Boston Bruins round robin game, 1 p.m. Colorado Dallas round robin game, 3:30 p.m. Pittsburgh Montreal game 3, 5 p.m. And then to round off the day of day 5, we got the Edmonton Oilers versus the Chicago Blackhawks game 3, 7:30 p.m. And no shade to any of these teams. I'm actually looking forward to a couple games, but this day is probably the day I'm least looking forward to, as all the days we've seen so far, as we got 2 round robin games, and round robin games I'm just not really into it, as they're nowhere near the playoff games in my opinion. Islanders Panthers game 3, it will be cool to see if Islanders can sweep, but you just don't get into morning games as much, if you guys know what I mean. Nashville Arizona, you know what, I'll watch it, but I'm not really looking forward to it. Pittsburgh Montreal, I'll be interested to see what happens. And then to round it off, Edmonton Chicago, that's the game I'm probably looking forward to the most, because I can see either of these teams winning, as it's been a very high scoring series. But yeah guys, thanks for watching my day 4 recap and day 5 preview. I'll see y'all tomorrow, and also comment if you guys want different sort of videos, if anyone even watches these videos in the first place. But yeah guys, peace out.